My dear people of Southern Cameroons, my dear people of Ambazonia, today is the 30th day of the month of November, the year of our Lord 2018. My dear people, this is a very important day in the life of our struggle. This day is not only important because of the resounding victory that virtue has scored over vice in La République du Cameroun. It is a very important day in our struggle because it is a day where Mr. Paul Biya and all his cohorts will take home a great message that the war he declared on the people of Southern Cameroons will end up being a war he declared against himself, will end up being the war that brings about his total and complete downfall. It was on the 30th of November, 2017, that Mr. Paul Biya declared war on the innocent people, on the armless people, on the people of Southern Cameroons who were simply asking for an opportunity for us to give each and everyone the opportunity to live well, freely, each and everyone to have their aspirations in life met. Just a question the people asked: can we go back to the drawing board and look at what happened in 1961? And all we got from Mr. Paul Biya was war. And again, today, the 30th of November, 2018, marks not only the first anniversary of that senseless war, but also it is an important turning point. Important because Mr. Paul Biya gave himself another 7-year mandate, and the main project he had to execute during this 7-year mandate was to host the Africa Football Cup of Nations in La République du Cameroun. And he actually planned to host part of this tournament on Southern Cameroon soil. He expected to organize a football feast, a football jamboree on our soil, where people are dying in droves, where people are in total desolation, where his soldiers are looting everything that the people have worked for over the years, where they continue to break into stores, to carry away people's goods, when they continue to kill people at random, when they continue to rape our women, when they continue to burn down our villages. Mr. Paul Biya expected to organize a mighty football feast on the blood of our people. I want to extend special gratitude to each and every one of us who have made this resistance strong, who have made this resistance solid. I've read a lot of messages of congratulations from people here and there, extended to me, to my person, and to the Southern Cameroon's Anglophone Civil Society Consortium, which I lead. That is the Cameroon Anglophone Civil Society Consortium, which we rebaptized the Southern Cameroon's Anglophone Civil Society Consortium, for the muzzled diplomatic effort we carried out that contributed in no little way in ensuring this result. I want to say here and now that this victory is a victory for all of us. And I want to say also that it is a clear victory for collaboration. It is a clear victory of total synergy. It is a demonstration of the fact that when we come together, speak with one voice, work like one man, put aside all our differences, ignore whatever some people call greed in us, and decide to put Ambazonia first, the result would only be very resounding. I say this because it was thanks to the Washington Conference that we were able, as all the leaders of the frontline organizations, to sign a joint communique drawing the attention of the Confederation of African Football to not only a senseless decision they were about to take, but also to the illegality of such an act on our soil without our consent. My dear brothers and sisters, the letter the consortium addressed to CAF might have meant nothing if it didn't have an attachment of what we called the Washington Declaration. A declaration in which we made clear that any international partner doing any business with La République du Cameroon on behalf of Southern Cameroons, on behalf of Ambazonia, should know that such a business will be null and void, and that if they are engaging money, they are going to lose their money. This, therefore, is a victory of synergy over individualism, a victory of togetherness over greed, a victory of selflessness over wanting to work alone. This is a clear indication that the numerous calls being banged in our ears by day and by night on all the organizations to find a way, to forge a way of going back to the drawing board, to do things right, and to enable a situation where we have all our best brains working together is a call worth heeding. It's a call that makes a lot of sense. It's a call that we must all pay attention to. My dear brothers and sisters, what has happened today is a message to all the doomsayers that believe that we are engaged in a senseless adventure. This is just the beginning. It is not up to 1 full month since Mr. Paul Biya was sworn in as President of the Republic in Cameroon again. But these are 2 clear diplomatic setbacks that should tell him that if he doesn't end what he is doing right now, if he doesn't withdraw from the territories of the Southern Cameroons with immediate effect, he is going to face more doom because the best is still to come. First, having received his invitation to attend a major summit that brought together over 70 heads of state from around the world in France, Mr. Biya saw his invitation withdrawn at the very last minute. He couldn't make it to Paris. Then, the president of CAF, that said several times that CAF did not have a plan B, this day made it official. It's no longer a rumor. And of course, it lay bare the kind of human being Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari is. Because just minutes before the president of CAF made this information official, Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari published a press release in which he was threatening people with imprisonment and all not for cyber crimes because, according to him, they were announcing fake news about the withdrawal of the organization of the AFCOM from Cameroon. I like to remind some of the doomsayers who are Southern Cameroonians who say statements like this. I like to read this one. It says, the number of Anglophones in Yaoundé and other Francophones and in other Francophone areas in Cameroon who have made it clear that for no reason on earth can they again set foot in their region of origin, northwest or southwest, and the number of those who are being buried in graveyards on the outskirts of Yaoundé testify to the futility of what some people have termed a struggle to liberate Northwesterners and Southwesterners in Cameroon. This statement will get into the annals of history, particularly because of the caliber of the person who wrote it. But again, this statement exposes one thing. It exposes the vileness of some of our people. It exposes the pettiness of mind that some of our people are ready to exhibit. Because the prism from which they are looking at the sufferings of the masses is from, enjoyment, some kind of illicit advantages given just because of the moment. And they feel that because they have those advantages, others can jolly well go mad and go to hell. We saw in the struggle in South Africa where some black people cooperated with the white people who were oppressing them in the apartheid system. But today, most of those same black people who were cooperating with the white people to oppress their brothers and sisters are fighting for political positions in a South Africa where the blacks are no longer under an apartheid system. That is exactly what is going to happen to some of these brothers and sisters who have declared themselves self-righteous and see us as idiots who don't know exactly what we are doing to ourselves. I pointed out a while ago that synergy is the way we go in this struggle. Let me quickly add here that when we met within the framework of the Washington Conference, all 7 organizations. One of the issues that was on the table was the creation of a unique account where all resources will be concentrated for us to be able to prosecute this revolution in a clear and in a more transparent manner. We agreed that doing that was the best way to go. But when there was confusion, when disagreements reigned in, and a lot of people started looking the other way, at least 3 organizations decided to pursue that dream. And that is how the SCYL, which is today known as the APLM, the consortium, and the SCNC decided to stay glued to this dream. That is how we ended up birthing the same organization that was proposed on the table to all the organizations at that time, the Ambazonia Relief Fund. We have put this structure in place. Like I announced in my previous outing, we are going to have an event where we are going to officially have a launch of this organization. It definitely is going to take the form of a joint press outing of the leaders of these 3 organizations and some of the people who have been co-opted into the board of directors. I'd like to give you just a little gist about this organization. The Ambazonia Relief Fund is going to be a unique structure because it will be run by a board of directors. The objective of this fund is to make sure that leaders don't get closer to finances anymore, that leaders of organizations busy themselves doing the work of fighting to liberate our territory, while other hands work on the finances, receive projects, study them, and see exactly how they are financed and follow up the financing to ensure that the implementation is correct, that money is spent for the purpose for which it was intended. That is why in the board of directors, you have representatives of these organizations, but at the same time, you have independent personalities who will be in the majority with proven track records, people whose integrity cannot be questioned at all. And among those independent personalities will come a leader for that board of directors, such that we will see a situation where we have confidence once more in how money is managed in this struggle. And that will give us the opportunity to strengthen our battle for freedom and ensure that we will cry victory at last, not too long from this day, not too long from this moment. I assure you, the tides may seem strong sometimes, but so much work is going on in the background. I said so before, and I'm repeating it right now. And the Ambazonia Relief Fund is even practically operational. I said there are quite a number of people already contributing into this fund. I want to take also this opportunity to thank sincerely all those who made contributions when I announced that there was an important diplomatic mission and anyone wanted to support me on the occasion of my birthday to send in anything they could send so that I will have this channeled to the individuals who were going on this mission. The money was received, and I thank all of those who contributed, and we were able to channel it to this team, and they have done a tremendous job whose results you will soon know. There are other very big things happening in the background. Before long, you'll be aware of all of these things. And like I said, the account of the Ambazonia Relief Fund is already operational and people are contributing. If you feel that it is important for you to put in your money into that account right now before the launch, when we will be announcing already how much is in that account taking off from that moment, then do well to be part of it. I'm going to pin the information, the credentials through which you can save on this video when I end. So when you watch, read the information below and you'll see all the information. For those who may not be able to get it, the PayPal account is the email amberrelief2018@gmail.com. Amber Relief, all in small letters. Relief is RELIEF 2018@gmail.com. Amber Relief, one word, 2018@gmail.com. For Cash App, you may simply go to Amber Relief 2018 and you will be able to send in your contribution. All the same, I'm going to pin this information at the end of this video. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has listened to me. And I want to take this last seconds of this recording to urge all of us to call and to show solidarity to all those who lost their property in the Bamenda Food Market, at the Bamenda Food Market that was burned recently by La République du Cameroun, that are determined to impoverish us. A senior superintendent of police in La République du Cameroun said it to some people who have revealed it to me, that the soldiers of La République du Cameroun are determined to burn down even all the villages where they hear that there's ever been any camp of the Amber Boys in those villages, because they blame the population that they give them food, they stay with them, they condone with them, and they cooperate with them. This information is to the effect that the more you cooperate with our boys and make it possible for them to hold the advances of these people into our villages, the better, because we are caught up in an existential battle. To God be all the glory. I know that our victory is certain. Naysayers should wait. The day is coming where they will join us and we will tell them there is no discrimination at the feast of the harvest. Aluta continue.